57 Dream Body 3. I just want, that's my beginner challenge. And all my fighter warriors in my practice that are gonna reach fighter nirvana with me are there now. So I kind of just want to give them a little bit of myths debunked. I'm not starting yet. Friday is my welcome video, but I wanted to kind of show a little bit of, well, hello. So anyway, hello YouTube and hello 57 Dream Body. So I'm just gonna double. This is not gonna go on forever because the thing is that I cannot do two cameras at the same time. I'm not that smart, and I have like a cyst here that's really painful. It hurts so bad. But anyway, guys, the reason why I'm here with you is because I want to go through the myths that I want to explain, that I don't want you to believe. So I made it here somewhere with all my cards. So every time that I want to show you what I did for you, I forget everything. So what did I put it somewhere else? Probably when I'm like organizing myself away so I can show you what I want to do. Yeah, that's what happens now. My bad. Hold on a little bit. Going through all the meal plan and revisions and... Oh, here it goes. Okay, are you ready, guys? First of all, I'm gonna show you the banded press. The banded shoulder presses. We have a lot of... So now if you wonder, guys, I'm on YouTube. I have to build that one whole up because of Facebook is blocking me everywhere. So I have to be a student. I have to be my teacher with all my lessons somewhere where like you can go. I can make my brownie battery, and so that is why I'm doing this double work. And it's sometimes it's hard to kind of focus on one area to another, like I'm scattered-minded. So with shitty glasses, I'm not gonna even do them. I can't even see you. That's perfect. When people ask, why don't you get LASIK or something? First of all, my eye vision is so bad that it's like bad this way, bad that, and it also fluctuates. And it's better for me when I'm not on a computer, so it's good for me that I'm not writing anymore. Okay, so shoulder press, banded press. I talked to Michelle Serda, she's my fighter warrior, and she was doing a banded press. And there's many ways to do it, as you can see in my workout. But the most important thing is to understand how to use bands, because they're not the same as weights, dumbbells. And anytime I'm gonna get two bands, usually it takes me forever. It's like women, you know, we have too many outfits and nothing to wear, right? That's how I feel with my bands. So here I have two long bands and I have a variety. There's a length for every need. Women need a variety for every pleasure making of the muscle from top to toe. And these are from Serious Steel bands, and they are my favorite go-to brand. So first of all, number one, when you're working with bands, ladies, put your hair up. Because in a wonderful cone or whatever you have there, and if you have no hair, perfect for this. Because now, you're not gonna get your hair cut off. Now it's like, I have the Instagram filter on now in my eyes. It's like filth on them, yeah. Okay, so what I was telling Michelle, what I was talking about is that when you start the set, you have to think about where is the tension's gonna start. So in a shoulder press, it would be here. You shouldn't be that you have no tension here and then not until here. If I start in this position, these bands are gonna give me the tension to start. But when I looked at Michelle's bands, and I have to fake it, she was starting with this kind of tension for the bands in the bottom, nothing, and then went up. So there was very little tension here. The difference to work with bands versus dumbbells is that dumbbells gonna allow you to have, well, the gravity is gonna be that weights feel different in certain areas, like the length and where it is and the lever. Bands make other ways of training, and it's more like finding that tension spot and then use more like a range. So that's why time under tension, or for instance, when I do squats, I do variations from the bottom, the low end, to almost like top, because I need that to stimulate my different areas of strength and where I can hit it harder, where I have to kind of go back and so on to protect injuries. Not protect injuries, but protect from not getting more injured. So it's very important then to think about this. When you start the exercise, that's where you have to have tension. Because if I use a band and I don't plan, well, let's try this. Just case in point. I was planning to do cardio today, but that won't happen. The Wi-Fi will not allow me to do live today. So this is the live for today. Then I'm gonna do my leg day and stretch, and I'm gonna try to film the stretches because I need. So it might be. Here's the thing. The last thing I have to do always now is adding my lessons on YouTube. So this is where I'm building my archives, and that's where you get the brownie batter in the groups and challenge. So that's, I just need like a platform with all my stuff. So anyway, if I've thought about this now, I didn't plan and I think that I'm too strong, and this is a super thick band. If you believe this is all you have in the band department, that is like your first time you were a virgin and then you found this, and this is like a first, you lost your virginity to this. And then you think that's all under the sun. Well, until you meet, you know, who's got more endowed, you notice the difference. Oh, yeah, just doing it isn't the same as fantastic experience and wow. And by the way, that brings me into yesterday I saw a documentary about Kama Sutra, not the book, but actually the town, the whole thing. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a Hindu long time, but they had a big sexual culture where there was no guilt, no shame. There was sex was like they're in all these positions up on the buildings. And then when Islam or something took over, they wanted to take away those photos, those images, because they were showing all these acts of lovemaking and passion. So anyway, that was definitely a side story. But as you can see, I wouldn't be able to go this. It's too heavy. But I could do it down here, and I would be able to do it down here. My point is, bands do not work the same way as dumbbells. So when you work with bands, it's more thinking that where do you put the tension, and then you add the resistance level on it. I remember back before I was married to bands and thought it was only for light training or toning, completely ignorance. And I didn't need it yet, because I could still train the way I've trained for a long time, didn't need to change. And people kind of love to do what they've always done, and I'm not that. I like to level up, I like to grow, I don't want to do the same thing I've done all my life. And people say, what do you barbell? Isn't that what you do? No. What I do is I'm it's different, but it's the same. It's like, it's art, it's like the garden, it's like having something, a project that never stops. That's bodybuilding for life. So find a position. Number 2 I saw on Michelle Serda is that you were doing a neutral press. This is the neutral kind of press. I don't know if you meant that, because I like to do it the what is this grip now? Prone grip. Or just a regular grip. Well, this would be prone. Okay, prone grip. So, like that. Then another thing is that don't turn it into like that. You had a very much low doses, and it looked like you were not paying attention to have the, what I call, punching the stomach thing. Because you were letting it like this. That's okay if there's veg belly, but it shouldn't be like that when you train, because you need to have tension. That muscle, that feeling. All right, so there you go with that. The tension matters, the band strength matters. If you can't go full range of motion, so for instance, remember the other week when I said, wow, this was the best band for my incline front banded external rear raises. I know, a long time. This was the only band that I could get into peak contraction with. So, and here's another tutorial, so it's good to know. If I'm just pretending that I'm gonna use this band, and if I don't understand that angles matter in training, it's all about levels, how you apply the tension. Because if I do this and I start in the wrong area, there's gonna be like no tension on the muscle where I want it, because I don't understand that I have to kind of hit the angle right where, there's a muscle, the one you want to work. So with rear delt here, for instance, like if I don't know how it feels in that muscle, if I haven't practiced to find mind-muscle connection, which is why you pose, why we flex, it's not only about being narcissist or thinking, ooh, it means something, and also that you need to. How do you think I would be able to flex all the different kind of muscles in my body? How I can flex just one of my hamstring muscles or one adductor? How? Practice. Because if you're gonna stay on stage, you need to control everything from top to toe, everything. And I've done that, and I do it when I take photos. So I remember when you're starting, it's like I remember on stage first time, like, I was doing this, but I forgot that I have to keep my stomach and my thigh also flexed. I forgot. I thought it was this. So there's always something, and the best thing is that the longer you do this, the more you notice that we always think we know all we know, the less we know. And I know that is always the constant, but it's like I can never get over it, how everyone is, like, who comes to me has this kind of weird, that everyone thinks that there's something weird, that they always struggle with the diet. It's like, I always struggle with the diet. That's one demographic. The other camp is, I always struggle with my training. So I talked about this a lot. If you're the one who struggles with training dedication, training effort, then you have no problem being diet disciplined. If you're one who can train all your life like your life depends on it, me style, you're a typical lover for eating a lot and you all or nothing, you love to stuff yourself and you can't get away with it. Me. So that's why I have to master it, why I made it a system. But if you don't see that, you're gonna keep on repeating the same mistake. You're gonna keep on trying to do the same thing over and over. You never go past that. That's how you can get a shape a little bit, but you never continue. Because you never think. You never think, what is going on? Why do I say I quit or I fall off when I get unmotivated? So why do you keep on looking for motivation? Why do you think motivation is how I'm gonna keep on? It's not. Motivation comes and goes. How do you think I'm motivated to go here and talk to you all day long? I'm not. But I still do it. Why? The greater good of the bigger. I want you to succeed. That means I cannot think about how I want to be for me every time. I have to think more about what matters more than what I want to do right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my little. I wanna get off this camera. I wanna do two cameras at the same time so I can look a little bit less scatter-minded. What am I talking about? Come on. Why does these things always want to hijack, kidnap my phone, so then I can't, now I'm like, I have to stop saying L-I-K-E. I'm addicted to that word right now. I don't want to shut this off. But hello? Why? Come on, let go. Okay, good. A little tight there, huh? This is the last segment for today. I have to focus on my nose. Oh, hello ladies! Alright guys, this is the ultimate thing. Okay, so you FD7 ladies, I know I have a pine cone on my head. By the way, did you know that you can actually plant a pineapple by cupping off the chop thing and then you have a flower? So I'm gonna do that, except for I don't eat pineapple. So I'm gonna do but I'm gonna buy one and give it to someone, and because I want to try that one. You can do that with celery too. You get more celery out of it. Think with onions too. So if I look like that, that's because I'm looking at two cameras, so I have to think about that. I know you don't care maybe, but I do. Alright, so I have some good stuff here. Da, 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 da. By the way, if you don't have my public service stream, everywhere I educate for free, not charging anything for that, because I want to publicly service everyone who is reading or listening to diet culture. And I feel like I'm there to stand up for what we do here and just make sure that there is an alternative to all things diet culture. And today when I saw there was this post where someone, finally I felt like, oh, The women are listening finally. Because I heard this. I don't know who wrote it, but it says, this time I'm gonna do what Pauline says. I'm gonna focus on finding and building the dream menu the way I love to eat, because I understand now that the reason why I fall off is because I don't choose what I love. I like, oh, now we're talking. I was like, I screenshot it. I thought, but I didn't, I forgot. But what I loved about that is that is exactly what I'm talking about. I can only do this because I love it. And there's so many ways to do fighter diet. Trust me, you don't have to eat the big size meal. We have a variety. You don't have to eat this for 5 days in a row, but you have to have more time to cook if you're gonna do that. The more you want to vary your the diet, the more you have to understand how diet works. So I talked about that before this morning on the calorie budget, and how you the calorie range when you want to maintain, and how I'm changing a little bit by titrating, and what to think about. And also on this today's stream of voice, I explained about this, how we glorify, we have holy cows a lot in our diet, and what we consider is not exactly what we want to count. We make all these guides and lists and requirements. We put our own system on it. And we all have the same thing we can do. I mean, whatever you want to count it or not, it doesn't matter to me. But how it is that if you don't get results, it's because you're not doing what I say. So then, everything changes for me. And that's what I talk about cruise control. I use cruise control until I notice that I'm not getting the results, the effect that I want from it, which means I'm fattening up. I'm not planning on getting fatter. That is when I have to kind of change. I have to make a choice. Do I want to get leaner, or do I want to stay the same and build and be accepting that I'm not as lean as I want to be? Because if I never make up my mind and I always say, well, now I want to be leaner, because here's the thing how it is. You know, in bodybuilding, when you choose to want to get shredded, you're going to feel puny, you're going to feel like you're not strong enough, you're going to feel mentally, and you're going to tell your body that you're weak, and you're going to have all those down regulating things that you think about when the diet is going to stop. You're just waiting for the moment where you're going to have a way of to refeed or treat yourself. And then we know that when you haven't done that for some time, you suppress your appetite, and then you're trying to kind of control moderation. Good luck. You won't do it. You just don't know how strong that is when you start allowing yourself to eat. That is what I practice with the Fighter Diet Warriors, because there's no way that you learn it right off the bat. If you're struggling with up and down, you know exactly what I mean by diet tsunami waves and surfing them. You know it's gonna take more than one cycle of 6 days on and 1 day refeed before you get out of that. So I wanted to kill some myths today. Anyway, all that stuff is on the stream, free. Share it to the world, share it to your friends, because the more you teach your friends via my voice, the easier it's going to be around you. So that's why I'm telling you that you should motivate your women with all that. I tell you that, oh, women are so terrified that they're going to look older than 25. Women are terrified that they're going to be unattractive. Women are scared that they're going to be not the one who's most sexy looking. And I'm just like, ladies, are you only caring about being fuckable? Because if that's your choice, yes. I am 20 years too old now, because at 20, that would be my prime for that. And since I had no interest in that, my whole 20s and 30s and all the way up to here has been, why don't you want a baby? Oh, your baby's gonna get cute. Oh, I can't wait till you get married. All that I don't want. But I'm just saying that I have no interest in it and I don't care for it, so I don't measure myself into my values for other people in our society. Because I don't go for what I'm supposed to in this society. Thank God for that, because I don't want to be part of this culture which doesn't make anyone happy. Notice, everyone wants to compete, everyone wants to compare, everyone wants to live a life that looks good but hate yourself on the inside. And I'm like, I don't think so. So when you change, when you come to me in bodybuilding, you're going to see how you have nothing that anyone wants at 20 when you're a bodybuilder. Nothing. You're too young. You have like 10 years before you look decent in muscle mass. You're gonna have to work a lot longer time, ladies, before you get mature. You might be 60 now, but you're a fitness toddler in my life. I mean, when I look at you, I see a beginner. So you're gonna have to work your way up too. You're not gonna get it served just because you are professional level in your life. So here's the thing. Bodybuilding is fair and square, that you're a beginner, you're gonna learn, master yourself over and over, no matter when you start in your life. And the best thing is that you're never gonna be finished. And I know everyone is like, oh, I just want to be finished. And I'm like, why? Because when you're finished, it gets boring. Do you realize that? I have built my dream body. I live my life. I can maintain it. I have made my dream my reality. But trust me, if I ate the same thing over and over and over and had to train the same way all the time, don't care, I want to do what has worked for years, I mean, what would I do then? Think about it. It gets boring. It doesn't matter, because it's the same principle as, remember how many times you fell in love with the one who was the only thing you wanted? Like, oh, so many men in my life, I just wanted him, and if I can have him, because I like to have trophies. I was a trophy hunter. I loved having trophies. I'm a man hunter. Enough about that, because the thing is that we all have things that we work for. And the moment when, if I didn't do what I know how to do, to change my menu when I need to, so I always love it and I'm always excited about it. I don't ever eat meals anymore that are like, I don't really want to eat it anymore because I think this is the only way to do it. No. I know how to do it. I know how to change. I also know that what in my mind seems like, oh, this is gonna stop me. You know what? I know now that is just my mind. I know if I change a little bit, it's like, oh, that's a refeed effect too. You know how you can be so scared, oh, you're gonna eat the whole world, and then you notice that when you prevent overeating by overeating and then have your designated treat, which is practice again, you notice that it's so much easier. It's like no problem when you're full and then you're enjoying. So that's another thing too, that between my dinner and my dessert, which I consider one meal eating, because it's like one chunk. It's like 1, 2, 3 for me is 3 is dinner and dessert. I don't want the snack in the middle of the day. I could, but I don't like snacks. I like to eat a lot at night. But what I do is I kind of wait 20 minutes between my dinner and my dessert in order to delay, so my mind notices, oh, I'm full, and then so I can get more mental, psychological love and satiety and satisfaction from eating, enjoying that. Because when you're in the moment and you're enjoying what you eat and you think about your food and you're gonna eat it, what is that? It's being aware of what you're doing. It's aware of the food you're eating and you're loving it and it's healthy. You're mindful about being in the now, right? That's what bodybuilding does. Training forces you to be in the moment. There is no way to train really heavy and hard if you're not in the moment. You're gonna fall and you're gonna accidents and you're gonna break apart. You need to have focus. And if you can't even focus for a few seconds, that's like thinking about meditation. So a set all out, it's meditation, guys. Only think about that. Okay, enough about that. All that is free on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcast, Amazon, anywhere. Okay, let's finish it off today with fighter diet, culture, myths, fears, and fads. That's cool. Okay, so this is more from my FD7 group. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the fat burning zone. Do you believe in the fat burning zone? I wonder. Okay, so let's see if we can work the FD7 Dream Body Challenge. If you believe that the fat burning zone is very important to stay in cardio, which means that it's better to be at a lower intensity, not go too high up in the intensity to burn fat. Then, if you believe that is true, I don't wanna, now I'm gonna mess up or something, but then put a lot of hearts or something. Do you think it's true? Put some hearts on it. And if not, angry faces. Now I'm gonna see the group. So by the way, guys, you on the YouTube, you should go and sign up, because that's how you get my coach. The brownie battery is the brownie I make. The way that I teach is that I love educating people about how wonderful life is when you focus on movement, your body, learning everything about you. It's not about the looks, because looks get so boring. And like I said before, you're gonna get bored by looking at your dream body because you're not that vain. And I know, because I have it. And I've had my moments And this is a good lesson. If you wonder what you're gonna do when you're not motivated anymore and you're lean and you're living your life with your dream body, you're gonna do this. Well, just go and have a treat day gone wrong and you're gonna notice how easy it is to fatten up. Right there, you're gonna be motivated to go back on wagon right off the bat. So sometimes it's good. And that happens to me like twice a year when I'm just like, I'm gonna eat the Ben & Jerry's today because I have forgotten to appreciate how lean I am by my self-choice and my discipline and my dedication. And then the next day I definitely look like I have never even dieted my whole life, and that definitely suppresses my appetite, no interest at all. I'm just straight on the back. So that happens very seldom, but that was like my every weekend for years, because I was the same as you, who tried to work it off in the gym over and over and cardio, and then couldn't keep it together. And I only saw my good days on paper, but not my helping myself or my all nothing or when I started over. But my body knew the trend, because everything I did, every action up to this point, all mattered into the manifestation where I am this moment. I just couldn't, so it just took some revelations around the way. And there's a reason why you're not wise or self-actualized or self-aware when you're 20. It's longer, it takes a longer time. And I think I read somewhere like biologically women prime about 20, 25, and then after that it goes down, so great. But spiritually and psychologically and everything about yourself starts around 40, 50. So it's like second puberty, but this is the mind puberty. So the fat burning zone, we didn't get I forgot about my trying to get the hearts versus the angry. So I guess someone is not, they're terrified. Don't be terrified. The fat burning zone is a big myth, because people believe that you have to focus on building a certain substrate. Let's say your body can choose if it wants to burn more carbs or more fat or more protein, depending on what you're doing with your life and what your body is sent as a message. And the message is what you choose with your actions, your food, your activity and all that, and what you think. And a lot of guys, you don't understand that you have to change the way you tell yourself your self-talk, because if you keep on telling yourself all the time that you're not going to be able to do it, you're scared, you're not going to be able to, everything's about your fears. You're never gonna feel that you have to relax. You're too much at stake for you. This is a fitness lifestyle practice. It's not a race. So you have to kind of understand, you can't just be shake and brittle. You gotta understand, this is a practice. We're in school with me. You're not gonna have a come 1, 2, 3 sprint. No, it's more like we're gonna 1, 2, 3, let's take a step and then analyze. So the fat burning zone is just a myth. It was based on that percentage wise, when you're laying on the couch, you are burning a lot of fat, but not many calories. What should you know about it to keep it simple, which is my specialty, because I don't want to complicate life complicated enough. Fitness life should be simple, otherwise you will never be able to keep it for life. It's gonna overwhelm you, stress you out, and you're gonna end up eating your Snickers anyway. The fat burning zone then is because people love it, that be told that if you move at a slower rate and don't work as hard, you're gonna burn more fat. The total calories burned or used up is the most important thing to matter, not what kind of substrate you are burning up. Your body will always have a variety of it, but the higher the intensity, the more you think about intense bodybuilding or sprints, and you notice how those bodies are always kind of portrayed as this is the only way to train, this is how you become this, by not doing steady state cardio or something, whatever. The higher the intensity, all out, the more carbs you're burning, not fat. Now people freak out, right? Because they're like, oh my god, is that why I should be on keto? Well, if you're on keto diet, you tend to not be able to train that intensely, because you only have 3, 4, 5 seconds of stored creatine, and after that you don't have carbs, and now you have to slow it down, and you have to ketones, it's slower. It's not great for fat burning, but there's no reason for it. I'm just saying that you have to understand that it doesn't matter what kind of fuel in carbs or protein, because there will be a flux of stuff. Just like we have the flexibility on the calorie budget with the carbs and the fat, same thing with cardio. So don't think about that. Don't stress about what kind of fuel. Fat burning is doing fighter diet so you get leaner. That's a fat burner you need to know. And number two, the activity is what you push fat burning, because training, what is it? Hard. You want to be lazy, sit, right? Well, do the opposite. That's how you get lean. If you don't want to stay fat, don't sit, get moving. Fasted cardio then. Is it true or is it not? Well, if you do faster or not doesn't matter for a leaner body or not. So it's about what you do consistently 24/7, 365. So if you do fasted cardio, and that would be the absolute way to get lean, guess what? Why don't you do cardio fast and then pig out on ice cream and pizza? Because if it was just about the fast, and we all fast because it's break fast is the normal thing. It's just a part of life and there's no new thing. It's just sensational right now. Hey, West Coast Sports Unlimited. Nice. Okay, so here is another myth. Stop eat after 6 p.m. Well, that would work if it was okay that no calories work, or like this. Before 6 p.m. you will not get fat even if you're surplus. But if you are if you make sure you don't eat after 6 p.m., it should be okay to eat the surplus before 6 p.m. then, because why do we cut off after time then? So I think it's a way that they want to restrict the limiting. That's why intermittent fasting tends to be so popular, because people don't see the difference, that it's not about the fasting, it's that you are reducing your chances to stuff yourself like a pig, which means you're naturally gonna get leaner. But it's not about the fasting, it's not the intermittent, it's you putting yourself in a control system. You see how why I can't talk to the world anymore? Because I feel like, no, it's like I feel like everyone is like keep on being like Never Nizzling, and I just can't talk to people anymore. That's why I have my voice, because if I have a voice I can kind of let out what I need to tell you without writing a book that nobody wants to read and I don't want to write, and also I can give it out and I can keep on shooting it. Okay, if it fits your macros, that is something you all love, and it works on paper. Because the same system that everyone forgets is that I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It works until you do it, but what are you going to do when you don't want to do it anymore? That's when you have learned nothing. You just spent a lot of time doing if it fits your macros. If it fits your macros, it's a way that you can eat whatever you want, any junk food you want, and put it into calories and think you're going to work. What you do there is that you go and see what you like to do. So you pop it up, and if you don't understand that the fast food you like to fit your macros can be very small volume, and if you don't understand that small volume increases hunger pangs, guess what happens when you want to get lean? When hunger naturally gonna upregulate and gets bigger and bigger the more you're trying to not eat. Well, you're gonna fall off again. So then what are you gonna do when you have no calories left to eat and you have starving and you flat belly because you were water fasting maybe, or you were doing the small meals because it fits your macros. You got it somehow manipulated on there. Yeah, you're gonna have no other choice than to eat, right? Now, if you're doing the diet culture, you're gonna stuff yourself with what I love to eat, the ice cream, the Toblerone, the cupcakes, everything I know I'm not supposed to eat, but I'm gonna do it one more time because I know I can never do this again because I got a plan. I have to get lean. So I believe myself that since I have to be shredded at some point in a bikini, that fear factor is gonna put me motivated. That motivation just lasts a few days, not years, few days. Because then you notice a hunger and your instinct to survive, which is why you get hungry, is stronger than your desire to be cute and sexy on the beach in a bikini. So as you can see, you're not motivated enough. That's why. Because here's the thing, if you truly know, this is what you need to know, this is what you need to do to get to where you want to know, where you want to be. When you truly understand what it takes and how you're going to do it, that's when you're getting results. But before that, you're kind of just playing the same game over and over, the fantasy about how you're going to be in the future, and it's never true. Because you never take the time to practice to become it. Because you just want to play with me or hang out with being disciplined when you're in the mood. You know what doesn't grow from being in the mood? Strong muscles. And a lean body. Like, you will never get it from being in the mood. Well, how do you think I would be if I just I'm in the mood for eating. I would always love to eat. I would love a snack anytime during my day. If eating was the way to leanness, I would be so shredded I would be dead. Because I am a lover of eater. I love to eat. Okay, sauna belt. Again, water is not fat, and water comes and goes from morning to night. That's why I show in my challenge how I can look all flabby. Like here, I can sit here, and then later in the afternoon, my body will look shredded. I'm gonna take a photo, I'm gonna compare, I'm gonna keep on convincing, because leading by example, showing the way, being here is the way to do it. So the water, if you go on a scale, and this body weight scale, and you believe in the body fat percentage, just so you know, it's gonna be 2 to 4% up and down on margin of error from any reading. So you're gonna just freak out. That's why I don't care about those things. And a scale is definitely unreliable anyway. The thing with water and women is that you believe that water goes and comes and goes the same way fat does. It doesn't. Fat gain is very easy. You can gain a pound of fat in a day if you're eating 10,000 calories or whatever, 7,000 calories, if everything just packs into fat. But you cannot lose a pound of fat a day unless you're in the Biggest Loser show, where we did work labor hours of 8 hours of constant work, physical labor every day, day in and day out for 3 months in a row at the castle in the middle of nowhere in Estonia. And everyone who says that's a lie, I know how I drilled those hard guys. And the producers didn't believe me that we had to work that much. They thought it was an hour of training. That's what kind of expectations you have when you say, I think it's unrealistic to do that much cardio. I said, I think it's unrealistic to think you're gonna lose 10 pounds a week like I do on Biggest Loser show if you don't do the whole hours of labor. I'm not telling you a myth. I'm saying to get the Biggest Loser thing is marching and training and being on point with the diet for day and day of a week after week, and then do it. That's why I had to work so hard, because like in that I had to walk with them in the middle of nowhere for all those hours to win their trust in me. So water comes and goes, fat does not. So fat loss is very slow. You can lose very little at the time. That's why it's ridiculous to stress out about the scale going up and down. In fighterdiet, we rely on adherence to what we practice and what we preach, and the adherence to diet. And so then post-workout carbs. Post-workout carbs are not going to be something that is less fattening to the total calorie budget of the day. We were told many years ago that there's better way of restoring glycogen in your muscles after taking carbs and blah, 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 blah. It's just a lot of weird stuff that only matters if you're an athlete with a sport performance. I stopped with all that nutrient timing in 2010. I noticed that it just kept me from not ever getting lean. And I noticed that it became some kind of stress that, do I really believe that I have to have this kind of pre and post workout, and if I miss it then something's gonna happen? No. What is important is regular protein feeding, so you're pulsing, not going on a low protein diet for no reason. Training really hard and not doing the fasting, because fasting is catabolic. I mean, if you think about it, why would anyone who wants to starve and be anorexic would be a big jacked muscle builder? They won't be. But what they do, and I did too, was I was starving myself. That makes you skinny fat, not lean. And that's what you want to do. For what reason? Eating is what brings your metabolic rate up. But the bigger the meal, the more that helps. Spreading it out 6 meals a day is not going to make you leaner than eating 3 meals. It's a total and the adherence and what works for you. That's the most important thing. That's why I love when you see, I'm gonna find out, I'm gonna create the way that I love to eat so I can be like Pauline. Great. You don't have to eat exactly the way I do. You have to find your way. And I also know that what you love today is going to be different what you love another week. That's why I say every new week you should have a routine of revisit your meal plan. Are you still in love with this one? Because you're going to date different meal plans over and over and over. That's the whole thing. Because you don't know, this is the one. How do you know? If you just loved one, there's so many ways. And you have to have different lovers in order to experience this kind of style, this way, this, and so on, like different positions of it. And that is what you do with the dream menu. So what I'm doing, the recipe app, I'm making my menus for you, so you don't have to do it. Chocolate Addict, Pauline's, the Big Eater, the Small Eater, the all-in-one, the little black dress event prep menu, the vegan, the big volume, the sausage makers, whatever. But the thing is that it's so important to understand that you're gonna go dating with me when you're doing the fighter diet, because that's how you're gonna find your tricks. And those are, what are your most lovable recipes that you can always go to. So you have to create your own little library of comfort fighter diet, because that's what I have, and that's what every fighter warrior becomes. You know, you have your own little library of, these are my favorites. You go to desserts, your favorite chocolate concoction, when shit hits a fan, or like when I just have to stuff myself. You do that, you take notes of, this is how I like my life, this is what makes me happy. Because if sometimes I wonder, do you even know how to make yourself happy? Because I sometimes wonder, like, when I ask you, I said, do you know what makes you feel great? Do you know how every day the things that you can do on routine, that's what I call a daily 7, that the daily 7 blocks in my fighter diet routine, my lifestyle, is about 7 chunks that I have to fit in every day. And that is just my mandatory, and it sounds like a chore, but I love them because of the effect and what they do for me. So the practice is so important to understand that I don't want to get out of this practice. This is my life. I love it. I don't want to stop training. I don't want to stop I'm not waiting to get off the diet. No, I love it. This is my home. And I'm gonna eat until I die, and until then I'm gonna make sure I can eat as much as I can, right? And I love my healthy food. And honestly, I don't know how people who are not eating healthy can feel. I would be filled with so much anxiety all day long for knowing that I'm doing all I can to die by self-choice, by treating my body in the wrong way, which is eating junk food, living sedentary lifestyle, not taking care of myself, kind of just do all that stuff that is American junk food diet, sedentary culture, the car and calories combined together in heaven. And if you feel like I'm bashing that thing, I am, because it makes you all unhealthy and depressed, and it makes you lose your life quality and your life transportation system, your body. And if you don't have mobility, you're gonna age, old, and you're not gonna be able to move. And that's definitely how you feel like you are. Well, if you can't move, what are you gonna do? So remember, take care of what you have as long as you have. And you always have much more talent and potential in you, and you want to give yourself credit to, because you kind of tend to be a little lazy. Lazy doesn't work well at all with hard work, ability, and building a body. So when people come to me and they say like, oh, I wish it was easy, like, oh, is it hard? Like, yeah, you kind of signed up for the wrong kind of hobby if it was that you wanted it easy, because building and weight training, resistance training, and fighter diet, it says something about it. It doesn't say what I usually call happy go stay fat diet and Zumba. I mean, Zumba is great for cardio, but it's not gonna get you lean, and it's not gonna get you strong muscle curves. That's what we're building. We are bodybuilders, not body. I don't know. Okay, so meal timing, nutrient timing, pulse it out during the day, and there's not gonna be something big miraculous thing happening just because you put a protein shake before and after. Would it be helpful? It's always good for your muscles to have more food. It's always good for your body's muscle to eat. It's always good for your muscles to recover before a workout. But it also can make you less fat and less lean, because you need to somehow make it so you can get lean at the same time. And when you want to build lean muscle, not just build muscle and fat, you have to stay in the range. That's why I have the calorie budget range. That is how you build lean muscle the way I do. Because I'm not bulking, guys. Trust me, because I don't want to fatten up. I hate when I feel like, ugh. When my typical default body comes back, it's when I lose my abs and I'm always like that. And it makes me feel like, I want to see my muscle. So it just completely, I love feeling the leanness of my abs when I wake up. That is just like waking up here and go and flex and just like, oh, to know I never had that because I had to build it. I will never forget my default body. And when people say, well, your body was great. Yeah, it was. There was nothing wrong with it. But it was definitely not a fitness model body. I would never come to America on my body's default form. In order to be bodybuilder Arnold, in order to get my green card, I had to be the best of Sweden. So a few times. All right, just speed it up here. My CLA, carnitine, 7 keto, fat-free, 6 meals a day. All that is just doesn't matter. It's just again trends and trends. You get so obsessed about it, people or brands are making a lot of money off it, and then you notice that was just a waste of your life. Creatine and water retention. People say they buy Bang, which has been in lawsuit because there is no patented super creatine. It's all bull. And they still get to advertise that on Amazon. And by the way, my pre-workout, the Burn, 57 Burn, is on sale right now. And I'm not allowed to say this will jack you up. This will make you strong. This will make you want to go and destroy the demons in the gym. I'm not allowed to say it because according to my lawyer, well, that you cannot use that. But everyone else is doing it because they just have the money to pay off when they get sued. It's crazy, huh? I'm like, whatever. But caffeine is known to release fatty acids into the bloodstream and increase catecholamines. Those are the stress hormones that make you want to fight or flight. So they're great. That's how it works. The same thing happens when you do the energy dance. You know, when I do in one spot. Yeah, you get your adrenals up. If you want to wake up fast. So creatine then, water retention is a good thing because it pulls in water into your muscles. Now, it will never be that water only goes in one way. There's going to be a balance. So some water comes between your muscle and the skin and some in the muscle when it comes to creatine. The thing is that if you don't do the big loading, instead doing a smaller dose every day, which is what I do, you don't have to have the big 5 grams 4 times a day to load it for a few days and then have a maintenance dose. Mine is just 2.5 grams and you can have up to 5 grams a day, no problem. And it's important to drink a lot of water and also understand this whole thing of water retention is gonna be there because the creatine is supposed to bring in water. It's good. So it's like, it's just marketing. It doesn't cause water retention. Well, what you call water retention is usually body fat. That has to go away, has nothing to do with the creatine. Creatine and water retention actually increases lean body mass. Exactly. So when you're going there on the scale, and you tell me that you're retaining water today, well, if you didn't eat the junk food you told me about yesterday, then it would be water retention. But water retention doesn't stay for days, from weeks, and it doesn't have the thick feel to it, which is a difference between water and fat. And when you get leaner, you can notice that things happening, you can tell. And that's also how you can notice on your skin that they're like marbles when you fatten up again. When you're once lean, you will never unknow what it feels like to be lean first. So really wants you to get back to that. There's this feeling. Your body just feels different when it's like so hard to explain. But everyone's been lean once, know it. That feeling is addicting, it's cocaine, it's a rush. That's what I say in one of my quotes. Okay, so sit-ups. Any rotational spine stuff has been told to be dangerous, and basically everything that you do in life is gonna kill you somehow. You're gonna die from something. And all these different exercises have been through and out and in during the trends that something is always dangerous and you should never do it. And then someone gets obsessed about this exercise and they're gonna make it into the big scapegoat. And I'm not into that. And I always love my sit-ups and I always love the dangerous stuff. It's about who is doing it. And how is it being done? And for what reason? So again, don't ever it's not absolute so much. It's more about many more variations. Okay, nitric oxide sublinguals with test chart. Whoever remembers that? So stupid. Supplement, put it in the tongue, and then you're supposed to test, and then the test shows if you're getting a nitric oxide or something, if your levels are good now. So then, of course, that just shows you put it on and it turns the color. Oh, everyone's happy. It was ridiculous. And there's so much stuff that goes into people don't understand that. You can take a capsule or something, like a NAD+, for instance, that's good for anti-aging. I'm going to buy one that is liposomal, like liposomal, that is actually encapsulated so it can go through the gastric tract without being broken down and deactivated. So somehow the delivery system in magnesium, for instance, is really good for me because it's fat bound and with some kind of cholesterol, not cholesterol, but it's like it helps phospholipids or something that is part of the cholesterol, the building blocks. So it kind of writes into it easier so your body can use it. So NAD+, for instance, is one of those anti-aging supplements that people try, and I'm gonna try it to get myself. I would probably not feel anything anyway, because this is a typical thing that would be for long-term use by pure faith, experimenting on myself, which is I always do, guinea pig myself, and not thinking it's gonna be ooh, I can feel it. And that's why when you notice those reviews of things like this that I'm trying, NAD+, for instance, oh my god, I can feel it, I have so much energy. I'm like, who is this person? Verified purchase? And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. So when you see people raving about stuff for no reason, don't just buy it, because you don't know what are they comparing to, and what kind of, do they have training? Do they understand how it works at all? Okay, steady state cardio has been villainized, but saying that you're gonna be puny and skinny fat if you do steady state cardio, because we all know that cardio breaks down fat. Bullshit. It's a bit, if you don't weight train and you're on a deficit and you're always doing a lot of cardio and you're trying to do that and you're a runner, you want to be thin, right? You want to be skinny. You have nothing to gain by being heavy as a runner. Not at all. You're going to be light. So how come runners that are elite level aren't big and fat then? Exactly. Another myth. Cardio was increasing cortisol, and the cortisol makes you fat. Another myth here. Cortisol is a hormone that is a stress hormone that breaks down fat and can be muscle too. So when we're stressed, cortisol goes up. It's also high in the morning, but cortisol is released with growth hormone from weight training, from cardio, from anything. Cortisol is part of life. Without cortisol, you would die. The thing is that too much chronic cortisol from being overweight, eating too much calories, so you're in a surplus all the time, being stressed, being depressed, alcohol, not taking care of your body, not exercising, not providing your body nutrition, just calories, eating junk food, being deficient in the essentials that makes you not smart. If you think about it, all you do by choice is kind of counteracting all you're trying to do. So it's kind of important to understand that cortisol, well, I would say that you just have to understand that it's not gonna be what you should be scared of, because it's part of life. You just want to make sure that you're living a life and you're taking care of your body, which is what we do in fighterdiet. It's just automatic. But cortisol is gonna stay around, and it's a hormone. Hormones are messengers. They cannot make an action by themselves. They're like a mailman coming up here, but without any mail to you that you open up and read, there's no order, right? You're just like, hello, you just knock on the door, but there's nothing coming. Okay, let's see here. Stress. Stress is another popular diet culture myth, that they tell you that stress is what causes fat gain. That's why you're not lean. How stress and lack of sleep is causing you to gain fat. Bullshit. Why? You can't get fat from what you're not eating. And when you're stressed, what happens to your selection of what you eat and what you do with your body? You tend to not do what is good for you, because that is what stress does. You stop thinking the way you should. So again, remember what they say, and then ask, what do they mean? Is it implied, or is it the absolute truth here? Because remember that all the diet culture junk guidance or coaching and all that stuff they tell you, they want to sell you a diet plan that you fail. And if you forget that, remember, they don't want you to succeed, because if you succeed at the diet plan, they're gonna lose you from coming back and buy it again. That's why. You see why I'm standing out now? Maybe you start to notice the fighterdiet is the antidote to all other diets, and if you want to, for once and for all, stop your yo-yo dieting, stop all your interest in dieting, stop wasting lifetime that you never got back, stop telling your daughters who gonna do what you're doing with your diets up and down, to start taking responsibility about what you do with your body and your health and your family and your social culture and your clique of friends. Take responsibility, stand up for yourself. So we become something that isn't only obsessed about looks and how everything should be surface and everything's perfect and everything like that. If you want to change the way we think about ourselves, the way we are working, we're living together, we have to do it one by one and stand up for it. That's why I'm showing up for you in all kinds of shitty faces, lights, not sitting in makeup and lights on me and making sure I always look perfect and beautiful and always make sure that I never have a bad angle, always, because that would make me completely unrelatable and I would be like a fake, because I would want you to think I'm better than I'm not. I don't want to, because I know I'm meeting you in real life. I don't want to feel like I'm living a lie, and I feel like that if I somehow pretend that I'm better than I'm not, or that I somehow wake up looking like a Barbie. I don't. I look like shit, and I don't care. I love myself the same way. I love seeing myself every day, and it's not about the looks, it's about what I do and what I do with my life, and my body is my vehicle, my instrument for this, to work with you. Because if I didn't have built my body, you would have no interest in me, because that's how shallow the world is. That's what got me to Arnold, right? So I'm the same shitty person, so don't think I'm bashing you guys. Okay, the last thing. Protein in kidneys, kidney failure. This is what happens to unknown doctors if you go to regular doctor. They're gonna see that your BUN is gonna be elevated, which is a normal part of having a high protein diet or breaking down your muscles with weight training, hard and training. Those two things tend to bring up BUN. It's a normal mechanism phenomenon. But what you have to look at is the creatinine. The creatinine in your blood work is what matters. If it's in range, great. But if it's not, if it's high, then you have a thing to think about. Did you have hydration? Are you overweight? Overweight and obesity is very bad for your kidneys. So that's a myth about protein intake. And honestly, what is really bad for your kidneys is high blood sugar, diabetes. That's how you're gonna get kidney failure, and being overweight. So if you want to keep your organs, which you should, because it's not like we can just get another one like that, take care of your body, because you only have one. And with that said, now I'm gonna focus on myself, because I got my leg day and my stretching and all that stuff. So I will check out from everything. And guys, I'm gonna post the brownie batter. I already did, but there's a leg day. I'm gonna post a little bit more of the menus, and then I can talk about it tomorrow. But there's stuff going on. And then I'll see you tomorrow. FD7, by the way, no, we don't start until Friday, but I'm gonna do the welcome video on Friday. Keep on recruiting your friends, please. So you just saw me here. And YouTube, I'm keeping on building the library. You're gonna see the brownie battery. And I love that I can make the routines now. So the Buck Bible, I made a slideshow. I'm trying to figure out the easy way to make my own marks, like my own workout in the slider, so I don't have to do a post. If someone knows an easy app that is for making a collage of, let's say, 4 moves in a video, and then I can write on it. I don't know what it's called, but it's like, I need that so I can do those fun brownie batters with all the stuff that I film on my own that I have to do, that I just don't have time, and I cannot do it on Facebook, because Facebook is so slow and you don't even see it. So that's why I'm building the whole platform of Train with Nordin and training and all my stuff in the YouTube, just like a platform. Alright guys, I love you. Make sure you go and sign up for FD7, fighterdiet.com, and I have a sale on FD7 burn. Make sure you get yours, because I'm not, it's gonna, what do you say, I don't have tons. And then the Fighterdiet recipe app, please write a review and spread out to the world. And I'll be back tomorrow on The Voice and in the group and everything, and FD12 and all that stuff. Tell the FD12 that I'm on YouTube. Oh, I forgot, I already did. Okay guys, now it's time for me to get my chicken head in order and work on me. I'll shut off for safety and for focus, because I have to lead by example. And there's one thing I want you to do. When you train, you focus on your training. You don't go in and out, because that's how you get dragged into stuff and all of a sudden you have a shitty workout. But I got stuff here. Love you, I love you, I love you, ladies.